If it's stuck, just bang it 3 times and try again, and other things that our grandparents taught us. Over the past month or so, I've been compiling a huge list of life hacks from past generations. And I gotta be honest, you guys, these hacks are good. They are clever, they are smart, they're sometimes witty and endearing. I guess wisdom really does come with age. So let's dive into these and make sure you stick around for number 18. It is my favorite. Okay, the very first hack says that you can revive old flowers using hot water, so let's try. So I tested this out on this bouquet of flowers that I had. I just removed them, and then the hacks that I read said to give your trims a fresh cut on the bottom, and then I replaced it with hot water, and I really do think within an hour that the blooms looked a little bit perkier and happier. Add a marshmallow to your brown sugar. Brown sugar hardens when it loses moisture, but marshmallows contain gelatin and thus moisture, helping to maintain humidity inside the bag or container. This allows your brown sugar to stay soft and easy to scoop. I also saw a hack that said that you could use a piece of white bread. I haven't tested that one. The marshmallow one works for me. Now on that same topic, they say to add a little bit of rice to your peppercorns. Hold on, I'm losing my rice. The rice is going to absorb any extra moisture that may get into your peppercorns and make it hard for them to grind. You could do this with your salt as well if you have trouble with your salt getting too much moisture in it. Okay, this next hack is for your sheets, and grandma said to take a safety pin and put it at the end of your sheets. That way you always know what's the top and what's the bottom of your sheet when you're putting them back on. That's really smart. And I went to buy the stuff to do this hack to show it to you, and I bought paper clips instead of safety pins because my mom brain when I was at the store was like, that's the same thing, that's not the same thing. Anyways, you get the idea. All right, this next grandparent hack says that if you have any scratch marks in wood furniture, that you can use a walnut to fill it in. The oils of the walnut and the natural brown color of the walnut is supposed to help the scratch disappear. It's definitely making the scratch go away a little bit. Oh wait, that actually worked pretty good. Look at that. I really didn't think that was gonna work. I can't even find where the scratch was. Was it here? Wow. Holy guacamole. Okay, let's see if we can fix this one. You know what? Grandparents, they just know what they're talking about. All right, this one was quite thicker, so couldn't really get this one, but man, those thinner surface level scratches, it really got well. Now, one little problem is you are gonna end up with little pieces of walnut all over your floor. On the topic of dishes, I saw multiple people share that their grandma always told them your dishes are not done until your sink is clean. I love this one and totally agree. Taking the extra minute or two to wipe out and wipe down your sink, later you will always thank you. I got a comment from a follower that said that their grandmother, whenever they had a jar that they couldn't get open, they would flip it upside down, hit it on the counter 3 times, and then they said it would open. They said they weren't really sure why it worked, but that it always did. I got multiple messages from people saying that their grandparents swore that when you clean windows, you should use newspaper instead of paper towels. The idea here is that unlike paper towels, newspaper is completely lint-free, so it's not going to leave a little bit dust speckles all over your windows. Once again, grandma and grandpa know what's up. And on that tip, as far as using newspaper for windows, I saw one person share that their grandmother always said that everything has a second life. And I just adore this because I feel like past generations were far more resourceful than we are. It's not our fault, it's just that we can literally buy everything with a click, but they really had to find second lives out of everything. Repurposing an old shirt to use it as a washcloth. Another example might be if you have a mismatched sock, to use this for dusting. Old glass jars that you may have gotten pickles in, you can use these for storing. I really just truly think so many things have a second life. A quick break to tell you about the sponsor for today's video, which is BetterHelp. Now, as we're speaking about the wisdom from past generations, there is one thing that we do have better than our past generations did, and that is access to mental health help without any stigma or shame. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy service, and getting started is super simple. You fill out a quick questionnaire, and in as little as a couple of days, BetterHelp will match you with a therapist from their network of over 30,000 licensed professionals. From there, you can connect however works for you, whether it's text, chat, phone call, or video call. So get support in the way that fits your life. And that's one of the things I love most about BetterHelp as somebody who's just a busy working mom, is the fact that you can get the help you need right from home. You don't need to worry about scheduling appointments and driving to get yourself into the office. It can all be done right from home on your own time. And if your first therapist isn't the right fit for you, you can switch anytime at no extra cost. BetterHelp takes the quality of their platform really seriously, ensuring all of their therapists are fully licensed and vetted, and their customer support team is always available to help if you have any questions. Plus, with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5-star rating on Trustpilot, it's a service that you know you can feel really good about using. To try it out for yourself, you can click the link in my description box down below. It will get you 10% off your first month using betterhelp.com/butfirstcoffee. Okay, this next hack said to put out a bowl of vinegar to absorb bad odors, particularly in your kitchen. So if you've cooked something that is sort of smelly, like fish or something greasy, or like you created a lot of smoke. Vinegar is an acid that reacts and neutralizes alkaline odor molecules, breaking down any lingering odor particles in the air. An even quicker way is actually just to boil a little bit of vinegar right on your stove at night and then just leave it, when you go to bed. Now, if you've ever cleaned with vinegar, you do know that it makes your house smell like vinegar, but the thing about vinegar is that it evaporates much, much quicker than odors like smoke or grease do. They just tend to sort of hang around. The next one was to wash your fruits in vinegar and water to make them last longer. I've actually tried this many times in the past, and I really do think that it works. And another woman said that her grandmother always stored all of their fruits in mason jars. She said that they would make them last twice as long. And on that note, to make your herbs last longer, one of the best ways that has been shared in the past is to take your herbs and wrap them in just a wet paper towel and then put them into a plastic baggie. I actually have tried a handful of different ways to make herbs last longer. I've tried like this herb pod contraption that you can buy on Amazon, which does work really, really well. But I will say this simple hack of wrapping them in a wet paper towel and putting them in a Ziploc bag, it will make my herbs last at least twice as long as they would if I just kept them in the bags that they come. And on that note, if you want to make your romaine lettuce last longer, wrap it in tin foil. The next hack was for getting off a Band-Aid without any pain, and it was to put Vaseline on the Band-Aid first and let it sit, and then you could remove the Band-Aid easier. I actually tested that one out, so I will show you that right here. So I have a Band-Aid here, and I am going to put it onto my arm, like where you have those fine little arm hairs, because everybody knows that's the worst place to take a Band-Aid off. I'm already regretting this a little, because like, what if it doesn't work? It will. I know it will work. I've done this before. Okay, you want some Vaseline or some petroleum jelly. We're gonna just put that onto the Band-Aid. You could also use olive oil. It's been like 15 minutes or so. And so now we'll just be able to peel this Band-Aid right off. It stuck a little bit, as you could see, but it didn't stick to any of my hair. It didn't hurt for it to come off at all. So this is a great hack if you don't wanna have to take a Band-Aid off a place with hair, or you have kids that are funny about Band-Aids. A lot of the hacks that were shared with me were more like mindset type things, which I loved. I'll put a few extras in the caption, but I think my favorite one was shared a couple of times a few different ways. If you're not gonna worry about it in 10 years, then it's not worth worrying about now. Another version I heard of this is if it's not going to be important in 5 years, then it's not important now either. I just love this mindset of sort of being able to zoom your life out a little bit and say like, is this thing that I'm stressing about so much right now really gonna matter in a couple of years? All right, this next hack I was not too sure about, but that is to add a little bit of salt to your coffee. I know this sounds weird, but apparently it's supposed to take away the bitter taste. So if you have a cup of coffee that's too bitter, or maybe it was like overbrewed or it went a little stale, just the tiniest pinch of salt can help take it away. And don't knock it till you try it. And I don't know how, but it just makes the coffee more smooth. Okay, this hack is for parchment paper. Now, when you get a brand new parchment paper, first thing that you want to check is the direction that your parchment paper is coming. Lots of times it'll start coming out this way, like from the top, and it just makes it hard to get a straight cut with your parchment paper. So if your parchment paper comes in the box that way, you're gonna flip it around the other way so that it's coming up from this way. Then you're gonna take the top and you're gonna tuck it in like this. Now you can just pull out how much you need and pull, and you will get a nice straight edge every time. I have one more parchment paper hack for you.
If you ever fight with parchment paper, which I do probably like every other day, I recently learned a hack that literally changed my life. And the woman was like, if you're struggling to get your parchment paper to sit inside of the container, as I am here, she said, it's because your parchment paper is parched. It's parched paper. And I was like, I don't know if this is real, but basically she's like, get it wet. And I was like, this seems wrong. It's not wrong. If you get your parchment paper wet, you can now like fit it inside of any casserole dish or any. This literally has changed my life. I've used it multiple times. It has not affected the baking of my item at all. And I will now always unparch my parchment paper.
The easiest way to wash your cast iron is with salt. I actually learned this one a few years ago and agree it is the best way. When your pan is warm, sprinkle coarse salt on the surface, scrub it with a paper towel or a sponge. You don't need any soap. The salt acts as a natural abrasive without stripping anything from your cast iron. And then rinse away with warm water and dry immediately. My favorite way to dry my cast irons, by the way, is I just put them back on the stove and turn the stovetop on. The heat will just remove all the moisture for you. Of course, rub it with a light layer of oil afterwards to season it, and you're good to go. Hack number 18, and possibly my favorite hack, is one of my followers messaged me that their grandmother always routinely had a cup of ice cream every day at 3 o'clock. And I just think that this is probably one of the most brilliant life hacks I've ever heard. We can all agree that 3 p.m. is like the worst time of day. So why not have a little bit of ice cream? Oh, whoa. All right, guys, that does it. Some of the best grandma and grandpa hacks that I got from you guys and I got from the internet. If there are any from your grandparents that you love that I did not include in this video, please, please, please put them in the comments. I would love the comment section on this video, which is tons of amazing hacks that we have gotten from the older people in our life. As always, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.